Hi, this is my video on the GoPro El Grande. Now, this is a GoPro's largest pole that you could buy, that I know of anyway, that you could buy. And this is 38 inches long or 97 centimeters in length. Now, I picked this up from Amazon for £44.99 with free shipping, obviously. Now, I know there's probably been loads of videos probably done on this pole, but I'm just going to give you my take on this pole. So we'll go around the box, and obviously on the front of the box it says El Grande, the length of it, and the picture of the pole, and it's from GoPro. Nothing much on the sides. And on the back here, it just shows you it's almost 360 degree where you can put the camera. It swivels round. Simple twist locking mechanism on there, and how it extends up. So and on the other side, just a blue side. Now, this is what you get with the El Grande when you take it out of the box. And it's just this. You get the pole, you get the mount at the top, which, if you noticed, it's not a typical GoPro style mount pole, which is the 3 prongs. This is more or less similar to the mounts that you could put on something flat or on a helmet. It's one of these slider mounts. So you'll need the other mount to place into here. We get this nice thick handle, which is made out of a nice textured rubber, so I do give it that with the words GoPro on there. And at the bottom, that may be a 1/4 inch screw thread at the bottom. Now it's hard to see, I'm trying to get it focused. At the bottom here, and you have a place to put a lanyard. Now, I have noticed GoPro, considering that you're paying £44, and that's with a reduction, because the proper price is £49, they don't even provide you with a lanyard. So you have to go and find your own lanyard to put on this pole, which I think is a bit bad from GoPro. After all, you've spent their money most likely buying their camera. You've spent their money on this, their largest extension pole, or action stick, or whatever you want to call it, and they couldn't even give you a lanyard. Come on, GoPro, you're making a lot of money. Come on, you could have provided a lanyard. Now, with other action cameras, and I'm using my GoPro Hero 7. I know this is an old camera now, but still a good camera. You need a 1/4 inch thread to mount to the top of the pole here. Now, I rather have a 1/4 inch thread than this, because not everybody carries this around, but these most people will have if they're doing action sports and that. But this, not so much this. So GoPro must have their reason why. Now, if you know a reason why GoPros use this particular mount rather than using a 1/4 inch screw thread mount, please leave that in the comment section so we all know about it. So because you're using this mount and this does not come off, I've tried to get it off and it don't come off. You have to remove this mount. So now you have to get this kind of mount. Now, this is the original mount that came with the camera when I got the camera out of the box. So I've used this mount, and we simply, without knocking the camera, simply push that in. Sorry about that, folks, because I haven't used this mount for ages. I forgot that you've got to lift up this tab. So this tab's got to be lifted up. Then we push that in there, and it'll clip in there like so. And then this, you simply press down, and now that locks that into place there. And we get the camera, and simply put the thumb screw in, And now we got our camera. Let's tighten that up a bit. And now we got our camera fastened and connected to the top of the El Grande. Now, GoPro is no different than any other company when it comes to making their selfie sticks. Now, GoPro give you the length, which is from the top of the mount to the bottom of the pole, and they say it's 38 inches. It extends out to, but I do not count that because you're losing, them inches are losing from the camera at the top, from the mount, sorry, and the handle where you grip. So because this has a long rubber handle, I'm just going to give it from the handle itself. I know it's a long rubber handle, but I'm going to give it from the handle. Now, if you're measuring from this point at the top of the rubber handle to this point, now to me, that's its extension length. Even though it's got a nice long handle, this is the part where it really extends out to. That's this extension length. And between these 2 points, this top part here of the handle and the bottom part here of the mount, it is 23 inches. It extends out to. Now, the unique thing with the GoPro Grande, which is, I would say, has the same kind of build quality as the Smart Tree pole and the Sandmark pole, which are all roughly in the same kind of category for strong action poles. And I've already done a YouTube video on them, so you're going to have to look back in my YouTube subscription channel, my channel, you'll see it in there on them poles. The unique thing about it is what they've spent money is the build quality. The build quality of this is very good. I do give it that. So even though you're paying £49, if you're paying the original price for it, a penny less than £50, the build quality is solid on this. You know that this is definitely for action and that this can take a beating. Another thing I like, which GoPro has done, because this is a simple, uses a friction lock and twist method, the locking parts here, the plastic that's in there, even though the whole pole itself is aluminium, the locking parts in here are plastic, and they've made it the same color as the pole, which is great. You see how it gives it this nice uniform look. If that was white, which some other manufacturers have done, Sandmark hasn't done this and Smart Tree hasn't done this, but if you look and they make this white, it almost gives it a cheap feeling to it. It's a kind of cheap feeling. Even if the pole's solid, it gives a kind of cheap feeling to it. So having that particular part there, that particular ring, that particular locking mechanism there, the same color as the pole, gives it a kind of stealth look, quality look. Now, the handle, as I said, it's, and I'll just twist this back down. The handle is quite big, quite thick, quite big. You have a bigger, larger part here to the handle, a large part here. But in general, it's quite thick, this. It's just a pity that GoPro just did not give you a lanyard, because I know they probably would have came out with a nice thick lanyard, so you're going to have to go and look for that. But other than that, it's a decent pole. Now, another thing with this pole, I have noticed there's no seam in this pole, but because the pole only extends to 2 sections and they're thick sections, it doesn't require that seam. Now, as for the weight of this pole, I wouldn't exactly say this is a light pole compared to the Sandmark metal edition poles. They seem to be more lighter than this when I hold them. But for something in your hand that tells you that it's quality, like those other poles, this is not too bad. And as I says, it doesn't have a seam because it only goes up by 2 sections, and those sections within itself are quite thick, so it does not need a seam for that. Now I'll focus on the top part now, the mount at the top. Now it's a pity it does not use a 1/4 inch thread, and I tried to remove this and you cannot remove it. So there's if there is a 1/4 inch thread on there, they've either welded it to it or it just cannot come off. So you have to have that particular GoPro proprietary mount on there. Now, if you know the reason why they have this mount, please leave down in the comment section why they prefer to have this mount instead of just a 1/4 inch thread mount, which all the other ones provide, or like Sandmark or Smart Tree, they give you this and it's made out of aluminium, while this one is made out of plastic. Don't get me wrong, it is a very dense plastic, and up here it feels quite thick, and it's got a kind of rubber to it up here on this particular mount. They give you a nice short, very short thumb screw here, which is, even when you turn it, it's quality, and it's quite thick, so even with gloves on, see if you're taking it skiing, it's all right to turn. Now it has this proprietary, as I said, it's got this proprietary GoPro style mount on top, and it has a swivel ball mount here to swivel the camera around in any direction. Now if you're holding the pole, you can get the camera to come and face you directly straight like that, at a straight, I would say 90 degrees towards you, and you can straighten it up as well, like so, and you can move it from side to side, and that's quite great with that. Now I know I'm going to be asked about this. First of all, if you've got your Xiaomi cameras or your SJ cam or any kind of Chinese cameras like that, you're going to have to get, or if they provide you with one, you're going to have to use the GoPro 3-prong mount to hook up on that, to hook up onto this. And you have to, as I showed you earlier on in the video, you're going to have to get that kind of mount on there as well, so you need that. And I suggest just get the proper GoPro one with the rubber clip on there, because I've tried others which are non-GoPro ones, and there is a bit of a shake, there's a bit of a looseness in there. So just spend the money, get the proper one. You can get them for about £8, just spend it if you wanted to use it in this mount. Now I'm going to say again, now I'm going to get asked this, can a 360 camera go on here? Now, just before I put my 360 camera mount on there, onto the GoPro Grande, I just want to give you just this little information. If you've got the GoPro Max, you do not need a proprietary mount that I'm going to show you. You don't need it, because with the GoPro Max, it has that little holder built in, legs or teeth or whatever you want to call it. It has that built in, so you just simply attach it onto there with the GoPro Max. So GoPro Max owners, you don't need to get this proprietary mount that I'm going to show you. You just simply put your camera on there, put the thumb screw in, and then you're all right. Now, 360 camera owners who don't own a GoPro Max, who own other 360 cameras either by Insta360 or by Xiaomi or by the Rilo. Probably with the Rilo you could probably get away with that, I think, because with the Rilo I think you get teeth with that kind of GoPro style prong. So the Rilo camera, you probably can get away with that. But any other 360 camera which does not use a GoPro proprietary mount on it, you're going to have to get any one of these, and I'll bring them to the camera close to show you. First of all is that one. Now that is a Joby one. You can get it. You can get it, and I think the name is the Joby 1/4 inch Fred tripod mount. Now you can get that by Joby. That's Joby's one. Now you can get proprietary ones. You're gonna have to look in eBay, especially eBay, more than Amazon, to find that kind of mount, right? So that's the Joby one. Now you get that with the Joby, I think it's called the Joby Tight Grip Pro. You'll get that with that, so you can use that. The other one, which you can get from eBay, anywhere from the price of 99 pence upwards, is that proprietary one. Now you can get that one, and as that one is a standard one, you can get that. So you're going to need that if you're not using the GoPro Max or the Rilo 360 camera. You need one of them. Now this is how it looks with the Insta360 One X. And I've just remembered that Insta has come out with a new one called the Insta360 One R. Now, if you've got an Insta360 One R and you're one of those lucky people that's got one, you don't need this proprietary mount what I just showed you earlier on in the video just now. You don't need that. It will come with a kind of GoPro style mount. So you just put it to the mount that's on there. So you're all right. You're one of the lucky ones. Now, if you've got the One X like me here, straight away you'd probably noticed this thumb screw here. You can get smaller ones. I haven't got a smaller one, thumb screw that is. I haven't got a smaller thumb screw. So even if I did have a smaller thumb screw, it'd probably come about there to it. But the problem which you're gonna get is the mount itself. Now I'll try and hold it that way to show you, and I know it's a bit difficult, so if I step aside, you can see, because GoPro uses this style of mounting system here on the Grande, this is going to show up. That's going to show up as well. So the platform of this is going to show up here. This mount is going to show up, and also that thumb screw is going to show up, and this thumb screw is going to show up in your 360 videos. Now, if you're doing a 360 video and you're just doing the surrounding, basically the sides, front, sides, back, and you're not bothered, then that's all right. But the moment you want to view your camera's angle facing back towards you, holding the pole, I'm afraid that this is going to show up like a line, like a thick black line. It's going to be like a thick, not straight across your picture obviously, but it'll be a thick line about that on your video, and it will show that in your 360 photo as well. So but with photos you can get apps to remove that. So with a photo you can get apps to remove it. 360 videos, you probably can get an app, but I don't know which app would do it. You probably can do it in Filmic Pro. I don't know. I'm not really professional at that using Filmic Pro. So if you can do it in Filmic Pro and remove that in videos, please let us know down in the comment section and how you do it. Now, this is my 2 pence worth about the GoPro El Grande. And I've got to really think about this one. I personally think if they didn't have this type of mounting system on there and had a 3/4 inch thread mounting system on there, I would put this as one of the second best poles to get after the Sandmark Metal Edition poles. I'd put this as the second. But because they have this proprietary system on there that it requires you to get one of these, and I suggest you get the proper GoPro one with the rubber, the one that originally came with your camera. Use that if you've got a GoPro camera. otherwise buy that particular one, because third-party ones seem to shake in here. If you're lucky and you get a third-party one that doesn't, then you're all right. But most third-party ones that I've tried, they rackle in there. There's a bit of a shake in there. But with this one, because it has this kind of rubber backing on there, the one that came with the camera, once it's clipped in there, it's solid in there. Because they use that system on there and not a 1/4 inch screw thread on there, I have to put this behind the sandmark and the smart tree pole. I'm sorry, I said second, but I'd say, now I'm putting it to third. It's the third place. I have to put it there. Even though the build of this is solid, I have to keep it there just based on that. So that, you could say, is a negative, if you want to call it that. Some people will say it's a positive, but to me it's a negative. Otherwise than that, it is a great pole, and even though it's at a reduced price at the moment, personally I'd try and get it. I'd buy this pole if it even was reduced even further. I'd keep it then. As an action pole, I would keep it, because this particular rubber handle, it's the largest rubber handle you're going to get on any action pole you'll buy. It's the largest. So it is literally suitable for your bare hands, with the thickest of gloves in there. You could probably wear the same gloves that you wear in a foundry, could go on this, and you could probably still feel this rubber through them thick gloves. So it's the biggest, largest handle of any kind of selfie stick or action pole. So I give it that. It's just a negative top. It is built like a tank. I like how they use the black plastic here, rings here, to blend it all in as one. And as I said, it only extends to 2 sections, which gives you that kind of solid feeling that this thing ain't gonna break. Now back to another negative thing is this bottom part here. You have to get your own lanyard to fit in there. And also there's a hole at the bottom here. Now I've tried putting a 1/4 inch screw thread in that hole and it doesn't fit. So there's that hole. I don't know what it's for. It's probably either to drain water out if you get too much snow on there or whatever, and it just drains it out. I do not know. But whatever it is, the hole at the bottom of this thing here is not a 1/4 inch screw thread hole. So you cannot put tripod legs, mini tripod legs, on this particular pole. Now, even though I said as a negative about the mounting system, this ball head that they use at the top here, I do like this type of ball head. It is quite good and it's very flexible, rather than a simple back and forth GoPro style teeth system at the top. By using this ball head, you can literally maneuver your camera around in any angle that you want. So I like that, to your extension of your arm. So to how you extend the pole, you can have your camera facing towards you, off-centered to you. I just like it without even changing the grip of your arm, your hand on the pole. So I like that system in one way, with that particular ball head type style mount on top. Now, if you've got the El Grande, please let us know what you thought about this pole, because your opinion may be different to my opinion. So please let us know in the comment section. I know this video is a bit long, but if you like this video, I like to go into depth. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. I perfectly understand. Please subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching. And I just made it in time before the battery dies from my camera.